Yo, my name is Eric, and for those of you who do not know me, I go by Gravity Groove online, and I've been playing Magic for, somewhere around 15 years on and off. I have been to a pro tour, and I'm not really well known, but my friends would say otherwise. I may be the first Aspie you've seen who plays Magic and identifies. I'm proud of who I am and what I am, and I think this game has the space for people of all types, colors, and abilities. And hopefully I can convince you of that. Today we're playing our Grixis deck. We've made a few slight tweaks. It's the deck I hope to be playing for the Mythical Championship qualifier in my area in about a week. The checks we've made were because we're starting to see a lot more creature decks as the meta is evolving. And Gruul has become very, very powerful and common, and I'm starting to see it a lot more. So we originally had 3 lightning strikes here to be able to, for example, immediately kill a narrate after it ticked down. But now, since we're not seeing as high a concentration of the pure Planeswalker decks, we've diversified the removal, adding a Lava Coil and a Cast Down to the main. I'm also toying around with a Phyrexian Scriptures in the main because our 4-drop slot is only actually 4 cards. So we do have room in the 4-drop slot for additional things. If this works out, we'll probably cut down 1 Duress main, or potentially 1 Tyrant Scorn main, because we do have plenty of action in the 2-drop slot. For the sideboard, we added 1 additional Ritual of Soot, went up 1 Enter the God Eternals, because again, we need things that hit bigger creatures, and this gets Skarkan Hellkites if they haste it. This gets the Gruul Spellbreaker if it's a 4, and we cut down on 1 Moment of Craving to add that second Enter the God Eternals. Cry helps us deal with the Adanta Vanguard problem along with our 1 Moment, and this leaves us with 3 Enter the God Eternals and 1 Moment for trying to get through the mono-red matchup, which is a manageable matchup. Not a great one, but a manageable one. Essentially, it's if we stabilize, do we kill them before they frenzy out? I'd say it's at least 50-50, so it's by no means an unwinnable matchup. And there's always the chance that we just can duress their frenzy out of their hand or their Chandra out of their hand before it's relevant. So I think we're at Platinum 4 or 3, and we're going to see if we can get a rank or 2 today. Maybe, maybe not. We have gone pretty badly with this in the past couple of days. Essentially where I'm winning 1, winning 2, and then losing 2, and really not going anywhere at all, but that is kind of the nature of the game. And some draws are just essentially unwinnable. This, for example, is pretty rough. It's got a lot of the elements we need, but if we don't get a blue source to enable it, this is essentially all dead cards. So this is a little better. We have immediate action 1, 2, and 3. We probably bin the Scorn because we really need to find that first blue source. And yeah, this is definitely one of the bad matchups out of the gate. As I was saying in my description, this is kind of one of those problem matchups. They immediately get their curve out, and we're pretty screwed from here. Not only are we mana screwed and color screwed, but their curve out was pretty much flawless. Exactly flawless. Yeah, we can just call this here.
Come to me.
And that is how Magic works sometimes. There was no misplay for me to make there. There was no agency I had in that game at all. They drew exactly perfectly, and we drew poorly, and that was the game. A non-game. So in this matchup, we definitely take the Duresses out. We take the Lightning Strike out because we'd rather have Lava Coil. Bring in the Rituals. Bring in all the coils. Probably bring out the Butchers. I do have at least Llanowar Elves. Sometimes they have multiple mana dorks, so we'll bring one of those in and enter the God Eternals and either strike or the other God Eternals. We've got 4, 6 on 2. That's probably good enough. We'll bring in the other God Eternals. We could run 61 as we were initially. But that seems redundant at the moment. We could bring in an Elder Spell. They showed us Sarkhan, they could have multiple walkers. We'll bring in one Elder Spell. Seems reasonable. Sorry about that. Living Twister, interesting. Well, we have the answer for that, so. I suppose we just keep pressuring. Pretty good draw. And that's game. If you've ever been in doubt of if Legion Warboss is a good card, maybe that result will change your mind a little. It is worse on the draw, of course, in which case I think we'll just cut one for a little more removal. And of course we're just hoping our removal lines up here, right? If we're stuck with Lightning Strike and they play Spellbreaker on 4, we can't really do anything about that. Thrashing Brontoton and Whirler. yeah, I think this is what we got here. We just kind of need to hang on and hope that our board wipes and boluses and top end just kind of get us there. If they have a Mortal Sun, we haven't seen it yet. But we are a Bedeviled deck, so Mortal Sun is definitely not the best card against us. This seems pretty good. Drawing into one of our board wipes would be ideal, but this is pretty reasonable. Drawing any of our 2-drops here would be very good as well, besides our coil. Thought erasure would be nice. Well, at least they're going slow too. The hope here is that they play Phoenix to try to block the Thief of Sanity, and we can in turn Lava Coil the Phoenix. Or they have to pay 1 to shock it, which could cut them off a turn for playing threats. That was a pretty ideal result. We do need one more mana source here. We're hoping they don't have Nullhide Ferox. Also something some of these decks run, which can make an already hard matchup that much harder. If he's using double removal to get rid of this, that's very, very good for us. Yeah, he's in a very bad way. We hit the land. See a little more of the deck. And I don't really think there's any way he can come back from this. And that's how we want it to go. Let's try another one. Well, this would be great if this or this was a land, but it's not, so bye-bye. We've got a 1 and 2, we just need a blue source. We even got a 3. Oh, if this is an aggro matchup, this card is the only card that matters. If it's not, we gotta bin it, we gotta look for that land. But it's the only Lava Coil in my main deck, so I'm not feeling good about it. Wait, we binned that, didn't we? Are we disconnecting? Are we freezing? What's happening? Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. We need to go downstairs here. So Xfinity did recently come to my place. Oh wow, it completely shut the client down. Cool. Xfinity did recently come to my place and do a little more tinkering with the line to my house and replace part of the back line, but apparently the problem is quite a bit worse than that, and the lines to this house are very, very, very old and put in such a way that they go under my driveway. And I live in an association, a townhouse, so they're going to have to contact everyone in the association and set up times and potentially do a dig, and it's all really unpleasant and difficult, and thankfully I'm not paying for it. But that's just the reality of the interwebs that I live with right now. We probably lose our butcher here. Unless they have hero, in which case they might take cast down. I'd take butcher if I were them. We, of course, did not draw the land. We drew Nikki B, which is not getting us any closer to what we need. They got rid of Thief, so they have a no removal hand. They're just not as scared of Butcher. Okay, so this is the original Esper hero list, by the looks of it. He bounces this, we kill it for free. That's fine.
I've got it.
He's just turning one card into a different card. These draws, though, are real bad.
That didn't go according to
Now
plan.
3 cards that have not been a land, even after we binned one, so 25 land deck, that seems kind of unlikely. Okay, well, we finally have a land. He's drawing some pretty solid answers. Othakaya is a very good spell against us. Yeah. Any of our 3 drops or a land would have been great there, but you make me discard a card. I make you discard a card. You're a bad boy. Oh, should have kept the second one. Hey, not punished.
Soon,
Please don't be an Elder Spell.
bow before me, cold BOLAS.
Please don't be an Elder
I will
Spell.
return one
Please don't be an
day.
Elder Spell.
You have no weakness I cannot exploit. Inconceivable! My schemes are never-ending.
Bye-bye. This is our spice. We're trying this as a one-of. Functional in the Gruul matchup, but not quite as good as Soot. But also, it gives us game against the 4-color deck, the Command the Dreadhorde deck. Yeah. At a certain point, if you don't have enough permanence and Dragon God can tick up a couple times, the land tax aspect of it just becomes kind of too damning to fight through. The Butchers actually did some work there. They ate up early targets and early removal. They prevented the Time Raveler from going insane. These are all things we're happy about. So we're going to bring in another coil because they're running the Basilicas. We're going to bring out a War Boss, bring out a couple Butchers, bring in an Elder Spell, bring out Phyrexian Scriptures, Bring in a negate. Do we want 2 Elder Spells? Are these lists running... How many Planeswalkers are these lists running? 8? 12? Narset, Big Teferi, Little Teferi. Maybe we want both Elder Spells? And... I want one more piece of removal. I'm fine leaving Enter the God Eternals in here. Just one of. Maybe the War Boss. Seems reasonable. Get a lot of pain lands, unfortunately. Probably losing our Legion War Boss here. Can't take all our removal away. Yep. Jeez. We're gonna take the 2 here just so that if they play hero, we can kill it on our turn. They are chewing up our hand pretty hard. Wow. Okay. Well, this draw is real bad. Real bad. Oh, maybe theirs is worse. Okay. Well, we have gone 5 land in a row. Let's see. We just take any 3-drop that's of use to them, right? Well, they drew worse than us. And sometimes that just happens that way. I feel like the Esper Hero matchup is a pretty decent matchup for this deck. I am starting to see lots of people run Command the Dreadhorde main and side. That makes me that much more interested in keeping Phyrexian Rites or Scriptures in there. I may end up having to cut a Duress main, cut it to the side to keep that in there. Currently I'm just running it as the 61st card. The percentage change of it affecting my mana is pretty negligible. Based on Frank Carson's sort of distribution, it's really negligible. It's about 1% in how it changes how my mana draws. Seems pretty good. Wow. And this is why I've been considering cutting one of the Duresses main. I'm having a lot of matchups where I miss, and usually when you miss with Duress, you're really high number to lose. That's been my experience. So whatever he plays, we're lava coiling it here. We're probably bedeviling the next one. He probably cast the Grixis for 1 card here. Probably get a land. He probably has Nissa, which is of course bad for us. Just assume they always have it.
Which cannot protect itself.
Because they do. They
The
always
land
have
shall
it.
conquer you.
So this is a deck where Cry of the Carnarium is very, very good. I think we swing Butcher. Either he blocks with this, which is fine, or he blocks with this and we finish it off. Interesting.
How rude!
This says he may have another one, in which case he could make a 3/3, cast the next one, make a 3/3, in which case we might be dead on board. That would be 9, 10, 11, 13, that'd be 1 off.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Now we might be dead on board. Let's see. 4, 7. That was a hell of a good draw for him. It was a good draw for us. So now do we kill the Grixis to get the Nissa or the Discordant? Dreadhorde Butcher gets Nissa no matter what. This is interesting. We're probably dead in the backswing no matter what. It's just too much stuff. I don't think there's actually anything we can do here. This is a hell of a card, but Nissa Interestani is just, holy crap, make a 4/4 land every turn? That's pretty good. There's not a lot of thought they need to put into this. Yeah, it super doesn't matter.
I must go.
So even if I cap this, it's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We block 3. I think we're dead, but let's Let's find out for sure. Pretty sure we're dead. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The most we can block is 3. Yeah, he's got us dead to rights. Yeesh. So duress is bad in this matchup. They're not spell dense enough for it to matter. Take out Butcher for bringing in the cries. Ritual. Enter. Lava Coil. We want to focus on saving our the devils for planeswalkers, obviously. Can see cutting boss for a negate. And then we're really leaning hard on Enter the God Eternals and Nico Bolas to stabilize this one. So the ideal play pattern for this one is going to be they vomit their hand out on the board and we get to cry away the first wave. This is a pretty good draw. This tells us what's going to happen. And then we get to stabilize with Enter the God Eternals or our Bolases. That's what we're hoping for. So, do we care about Time Raveler at this point? Of course, that's what we top after we see Time Raveler. Yeah, well, I guess we hold up the negate for it. We either hold up the negate for it or we scorn here. Yeah. Not terribly afraid of Shalai at this point. It could become problematic, but... that is an ideal scenario for us. All these thieves is not where we want to be, but I suppose we can bounce their Shalai. That gives us an answer.
You gods once. I am one again. I am Death's master.
That's
Your
good.
defiances infuriate. Let your weak minds crumble.
That would be very bad. I feel like that's a mistake that could be very easily made. Be real, real bad. Cry here. Do we bounce a Landware Elf? Yeah, let's just drop our Thief. We can block with it. Okay, we have the Devils.
Sorry I'm late.
We can't bounce with that, unfortunately. But we can draw some cards. Jeez. Jelly Boy, huh? The gate seems like the safer play. Yeah. We can't adapt this, unfortunately.
Now what?
Hilariously, I can't really use any of these. Perhaps I should have taken the Jelly Boy. Yeah. Oh, one more turn. We do this for 5 to leave up negate. Sure. And 3, right? Yeah. That's hilarious, being that it doesn't do anything.
I will aid you.
Interesting. The devil is definitely what we wanted there, but just didn't see it. I think our plan is good here. It was awkward that we drew Cry and then, like, all of our thieves, but what are you going to do? Let's just try it again. Yeah, the 12 mana Dork deck is very high risk. People are starting to move back towards Kaya's Wrath because Cruel is becoming a threat again, and I feel like these ramp out into a big thing kind of decks are really hanging out there kind of vulnerable. It may actually be a better time to be running Grixis Control rather than Grixis Threats as I've built it. Just running 2 or 3 Cries main and 2 Ritual Sits main does seem pretty reasonable in this format right now. It's not the best hand ever, but it's not the worst. Now it's the worst. He's up running even more than 12, huh? He's running Land of War, Druid of the Cowl, Paradise Druid, and Incubation Druid? Holy crackers. We just need to fade Anissa for a turn or two. I think we probably have to blow that up. Even though I'd rather just BOLAS plus. Oh, what's the worst? I mean, we probably do BOLAS plus. Wow. That's a hell of a last card. Jeez. Guy's running real lucky. Yeah, we probably wait for that, right? The mana is irrelevant at this point. Well, let's hope we see a Bedevil. And soon. That's real bad for us. And we're mono BOLAS. That's a problem. Ritual Assault would be pretty good right now. Jeez, gonna die to the dorks. Well, if we hit a land, yeah, I think this is fine. We can transform, but it doesn't do anything. We could swing 4 and play another BOLAS. That doesn't do much either. See if Lethal on board. 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We block 3. Oh, yeah. We're dead. Full swing it. That is just how being unlucky works. Saw too many lands. Saw triple BOLAS. We had very bad awkward draws. Didn't see any of our sideboard in that matchup, which is particularly bad because any of those sideboard cards would have won that game. Yeah, that's Magic. That's why it's hard for me to place any particular value on ranks in this game. All those ranks tell me essentially is that you are spending a lot more time playing this than I am. Well, as I said, that is how we lose this game. So now we don't swing this, because on the block we get to throw it at another 1 toughness creature, which is very nice. Nope. So you're going to Baffling End it? That's a pretty good hit. So we'd rather not see a Legion's Landing now, but if we do, there's nothing we can do about it. We get the 2-for-1 with our Butcher, which is pretty nice. If we get a land, we can cast this Phyrexian Scripture. Well, let's see what we can get off the top. Wow. This is the kind of thing I was describing in great detail. The probabilities of this happening are exceptionally low, and yet we found a way to get extremely screwed over by variance. That is probably the game now. And that had nothing to do with how we played. There was no misplay here. There was nothing I could have done differently. I took the optimal line, and it went about as bad as it could possibly go. Now, very little we do matters. They have 1 million live draws that close this out. Loxodon being the most frightening. We're looking for a 1-drop here so we can jump the Adonto Vanguard. We didn't get it, but we did get a Conclave Tribunal. So we could potentially cast that next turn to get rid of the Vanguard. We let this 2 go. That is very, very good. Now I don't know that it matters what we do. We conclave one of the Adonto Vanguards. You can tap 2 of our creatures. We BOLAS. It doesn't kill it. BOLAS one of these. He taps 1, we block. No, now we basically need to get lucky, which we are very bad at doing in general. Yeah, we need a 1-drop, essentially. And now he taps them both. We take 3 and die. Yep. That one turn where I hit 3 lands was the deciding turn. I would have had an additional body in the field, and that's all that mattered. Very, very unfortunate. We bring in this, we bring in the cries, we bring in the rituals, bring in Enter the God Eternals, bring out War Boss, leave in a couple butchers. Fantastic. Now we're probably going to lose to our internet connection. Because this happened while we're sideboarding, it's going to fuck up all of our sideboarding choices back to the default, and we're not going to have time to fix it. Yeah, that is a pretty unsavory way to lose. Which will put us to 2 up, 2 down, which is typically how this seems to go. Oh, we're not even going to reconnect. Okay. We're just going to have a bugged match. That is exceptionally unfortunate. Oh boy. So this is going to load us in without any sideboard changes. And our odds to win without our sideboard cards are very, very low. Yep. The rest is still in. Yep, we lose. That is pretty tilting. Probably baffling ends this. Swinging instead. Okay. This way he's forced to use the Conclave Tribunal now, which gives me a turn off, and also protects the future BOLAS. Yep, I knew we were dead to History Banania without our sideboard, so naturally it's the next card he draws. Land into Loxodon, and GG's. Doesn't matter. He swings 9. We kill 1. Maybe we live by 1? I don't think we do. And that's game. Yeah, that was a pretty tough one to lose. Being that we lost to technical difficulties. Yeah. And if we're not illustrating the coin flip aspect of this game to you enough by this series of matchups, I don't know what more I can do to indicate to you that this game has a lot less to do with skill than anyone wants to talk about. I get we all want to think that we're, good players and that we have some agency over how this game plays out, and we want to have a certain amount of confidence or ego about if we're good and if our wins have something to do with us. But oftentimes, these matchups play out in a way that I'm irrelevant to how the game actually goes. And it's totally true for me to say that a lot of times I win matchups, it's just because my opponent drew poorly, or I drew well, or my opponent, due to perhaps nerves, made some kind of mistake, and that's what happens. So I don't know if we take Time Raveler here. We don't worry about Command the Dreadhorde yet. I mean, it is going to make us lose, but right now we don't have efficient answers to Fairy. He just draws a card, we bedevil it. We leave that. Hopefully we get Thought Erasered here, so we get to have our BOLAS in a future turn. Drawing Scripture should be pretty sweet in this matchup. It is one of our only ways to hose their plan. This doesn't look like 4-color Dreadhorde, though. This looks like Esper Hero with main deck Command the Dreadhorde. I don't know if that's better or worse. Probably better. We are drawing a lot of lands. That command, or that search, is actually probably going to beat us.
Mind and body. Put thoughtfulness before action.
He's drawn a lot of cards, too. Well, Cast Down doesn't help you.
This was overwhelming.
I think perhaps bouncing our own Dreadhorde Butcher is correct here. That is too many effing lambs, deck. He's taking the hits. Interesting. Doesn't have much to get back. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess he saw it. Just going to take the Teferi, bounces, search. Yeah. So, Esper Hero has been a pretty good matchup for us so far. We didn't see any creatures, but that doesn't likely mean anything really. We're expecting the Basilica Bellhaunts and Heroes. I'm on the draw now, so these are a little worse. This is not primarily command deck, so that doesn't really matter. Singleton into the God Eternal seems fine. This is probably going a little ham there. More likely to need these. It'd be nice if we could at least end this up one game. Reasonable. Let's just hit some land. We got 2 Thought Erasures to try to ensure that we hit our land. We could get 1 Duress out of our hand and the 2nd Thought Erasure out of our hand. Okay, so we now just need a red source. Probably gonna get Thought Erasured here. We take 1 of them. We hit them back. Oh, no turn 2 play. It's very, very good for us. We take Raveler, and then we take Big Teferi. Hold them negate for Lil. Jeez, with the lava coils. Well, so much for our secondary Thought Erasure plan. Probably takes BOLAS because he has no answer for it. Oh, alright. Well, we got our red source. Oh, I should have played that one. Now, if he tucks with the fairy, we just BOLAS him again, which is hilarious. Cast down. And we got the land.
I can no longer stand by and watch. Reverse!
That's pretty good.
I have a few openings for more minions, if you're interested.
Nicobolas would like to solicit your services, Teferi. Well, that was some games with our slightly tweaked Grixis Threats deck. Hopefully you've learned, you've loved, you've laughed, you've other L words. And we will be back with some more of this deck, or perhaps Gruul, which is the only other one we've been testing, which is kind of boring, but still really good, let's admit it, for playing perhaps tomorrow. If there's anything you'd like me to answer about the deck, or any suggestions, thoughts, and things you'd like to see me play, feel free to leave a message in the comments, and I will try to reply to you. Thanks for watching. Say goodbye to the goat.